Your editing style will only enhance your image and your style of photography. Hi everyone, I'm Jacqueline of Jacqueline Photography, and this is from Beginner to Boutique. So we're going into week 2 of our 5 fundamental steps to take when starting your photography business. Last week we talked about purchasing the perfect camera to start off with. So if you didn't see that or you need some help deciding on which camera to get, you can click right here and start there with week 1, where we go in depth of talking about what camera and lens is good to start with. This week we're going to be talking about editing services. And you might be thinking, well, I don't want my pictures to look super edited. I want them to be natural, and I want to be able to take a good enough picture where it doesn't really need to be edited. And that's fine. You should always strive to take the most perfect picture that you can. But I want to discuss 2 reasons of why you may want to have an editing service handy and available to you. The first reason is, although we are striving for the perfect picture every time, it's really just not possible. You're not always going to have it perfectly cropped, perfectly framed, the lighting just perfect. There's always going to be at least some minor changes that are going to need to be fixed. If you send these images out without editing them, they're most likely going to look very unprofessional if you don't at least take care of these minor adjustments. So that's the first reason why having an editing service available comes in very handy. It'll just make you look that much more professional. The second reason it's good to have an editing service is as you begin to grow as a photographer and really find your style, your editing style will only enhance your image and your style of photography. When a client chooses you, they're choosing your style and your art. And when you have an editing service and you begin using it and exploring things that you really like and that look good to you, your client will see these things and be drawn to you as well, because they will like that style and they will want their pictures to mimic those same features and art style that you have. So those are just 2 reasons of why having an editing service is a good idea, even if you think right now you don't want to do a whole lot of editing. So, where do you start with finding an editing service? Well, although I don't use them, I know a lot of people and a lot of photographers use different free services on their phone. So this could be an idea for you to look into, especially if you're just getting started and you don't really want to spend a lot of money and you're not sure how much editing you really want to do, but want a way to be able to change just some basic features in your images. The different free phone apps could be a great place to start until you're more familiar and figure out if and what else you want to add to your editing. So you could definitely check out some of those options. Also, on your computer or laptop, you probably have a free editing service there as well. Google Photos and things like that usually have some basic tools to do basic edits right there with the pictures on your computer. So you could also give that a try. The main one that I'm going to discuss is the most popular in the photography world, and that's Lightroom and Photoshop. While Photoshop usually is used for a little more advanced editing, it's a wonderful tool, and I think it'd be great to have in your tool belt for down the line. But to start off with, I highly suggest using and learning Lightroom. It is a wonderful place to start. It's very simple and easy to use. If you've used any of the phone apps or the computer apps, they are very similar, and then it just goes in a little more in depth. So it's a great tool to start using. It's very user-friendly, self-explanatory. It explains and goes through how to use each tool. It's very simple and easy to use and shouldn't take you long at all to figure out what exactly you want to do, and it gives you a good place to start seeing what and how each element of your picture affects the picture overall. So just a lot of time playing on it, getting familiar with it, making different adjustments to see how they affect your picture will really help you learn not only Lightroom, but also learn photography better, because you're seeing, well, how does the exposure affect my picture overall? And that's mimicking the light that was in your picture to begin with. So it's a really great tool for editing and for learning photography better. So I would highly recommend Lightroom and or Photoshop. So the package that I got was a photographer's package that included Lightroom and Photoshop with some other features, and it is $21 a month. So not a bad price. I get both of them. I can use them on my phone, on my computer, on my desktop, on my laptop, all different devices I can use them on. So again, even if you want to keep your style very natural and no heavy editing, that is totally fine. I would still suggest getting some sort of editing service and have it available so you can make just minor changes to your photos, and it will give you the professional edge that you're really going to want and that is going to really draw your clients into you. All right, I'm going to cut away and switch to a screen recording now and give you just a short walkthrough of Lightroom to show you what all kind of features it has, how it looks, and how it's set up. Just kind of get you familiar with it before you dive in and buy something. I know I always get a little nervous when I haven't seen something and I have to get a membership or purchase something before I ever really get to see it and get my hands on it. So I'll give you just a short little walkthrough and show you what all it looks like as you would be using it yourself. That way you can get a little more familiar with it and see what is in store. I hope you like this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thanks, guys. See you next week.